Water is a vital resource. If we don't have water, we just can't live. Water is the main component of the human body. Approximately 60% of our body is water. That's why this resource is so important. The problem is that there is a lack of sources for humans' use. Due to global warming, every time the water resources decreases in our planet. For example, the glaciers, which are a type of resource of fresh water, are melting, and due to lack of rain in the rivers are drying themselves. The contamination also affects the rivers, and water that goes to our homes will be bad for organisms. In order to protect the water of the planet, we can make some simple activities, such as decreasing the use of water while we shower, avoiding throwing garbage in the rivers, and creating different laws that will prohibit the industries that manages the toxic waste to dispose in the rivers. Ecuador is a type of country that contains different natural resources. One of the most important resources is the petroleum, that represents a great economic input. However, this kind of resource is sometimes exploited by the state, which will bring a series of negative consequences when it comes to not take the right decisions on this subject. A good example of this is Chevron Texaco. Chevron Texaco is an American industry that focuses on the petroleum that exploited this resource from our country many years ago, causing irreversible damage. There had been a petroleum leak that affected the underground water sources, which it developed the death of different types of species and vegetation. A great amount of people from the different communities nearby the petroleum zone got severe diseases that could be concluding to deaths. Mining is another important economic activity in our country that causes a main impact on water and can result into disastrous events. On one hand, there is an impressive amount of water that will be designed for humans' use, and it could be contaminated when it's used for mining. The great displacement of rocks causes a complete imbalance in the ecosystem by drastically changing the chemical composition of the minerals, which it will generate a considerable amount of contaminated rock. In the case of plants and animals, cyanide is highly toxic. Cyanide spills can exterminate vegetation and severely alter its biological and reproductive functions. Air concentration of 200 parts per million of hydrogen cyanide are lethal to animals. All this kind of contamination can generate an excess of greenhouse gases. One of these gases is CO2. The ocean absorbs a lot, but not all, of the excess carbon dioxide in the air. Unfortunately, the increased carbon dioxide in the ocean changes the water, making it more acidic. Ocean creatures are not attracted to acidic water, and they are disappearing. I think that if we need to exploit these resources for our country development, we need to create strategies to reduce the impact that this process would have in the environment. The most important thing that a country has is their biodiversity and natural resources. If we destroy our planet, we destroy our home, and there is no money that can fix it.